Here's was Jakob Poeltl with a double-double, 11 points and 12 rebounds. He also had a blocked shot. 7 points for Doug McDermott, who was just 2 of 7 from the field and 1 of 6 from three-point range. Devin Vassell, 3 of 9 overall from the field. He had 8 points and 2 rebounds. And we mentioned Murray's night earlier with 25 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. Off the bench, Lonnie Walker had 13. Trey Jones with 4. Josh Richardson with 3. 4 for Zach Collins. And let's see here. Actually, Zach Collins had all 4 from the free throw line. Jock Landale hit a field goal. He had 2, and Joe Wieskamp played 2 minutes and 40 seconds and did not score. And that's up to 119 for Toronto and 104 for the Spurs. And again, next up for the Spurs, a game on Friday night against the Utah Jazz. And that game will tip at 7:30. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock with Spurs Radio Game Night. Again, the final tonight, 119-104. Toronto with a win over the Spurs. Go to Spurs.com to get your verified tickets from Ticketmaster. Again, the next home game coming up on Friday night against the Utah Jazz. 119-104 Toronto. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
That is Bill Schoening. Can you lower that? That's Bill Schoening on postgame. Tough loss tonight for the San Antonio Spurs. They fall to the Toronto Raptors 119-104. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI and thank you, Ofa Lynn. Ofa Lynn is in here from Singapore. We're on 1200 WOAI, 1200 WOAI's Twitter. Okay, is this normally mine or is this his? Okay. Okay, cool. Eric Winchester, welcome in. See you later. Okay. Tough loss tonight. How about them Rockets? Did they win in overtime? They were up in overtime against the Lakers. So, Eric, the Rockets did what the Spurs did, which is beat the Lakers. Ofa Lynn is from Singapore. Ofa, thanks for joining us from Singapore. There's Eric Winchester crowing about his Houston Rockets. Christopher Silva, welcome in. Leland Bruce. Yeah, we'll try again on Friday night against Utah. Hopefully Spurs and Pop get that one. Here's Bill.
Antonio 104, the final score from the AT&T Center. And right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the San Antonio Spurs radio network.
News Radio 1200 WOAI, San Antonio's breaking news, traffic, and weather.
Whataburger wants next. Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz coming in here Friday night, 7:30 start. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. That game televised by Valley Sports. CW35's got the game the next night. As the second night of a back-to-back sees the Spurs take on the Indiana Pacers. That'll be a 7 o'clock start on Saturday night on the air at 6:30 with Spurs Radio Game Night. And again, CW35 with the television broadcast. Then Monday night, it's back on Bally's for TV. Minnesota is in here for a Monday night game, 7:30 start. And we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock with Spurs Radio
Hello,
Game
Beth Settle.
What's next? Again, the final score. The Raptors with the win over the Spurs, 119-104. Let's check back in with Chris Duel at Spurs Radio Net Center.
Thank you so much, Bill. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages. Our Spurs React is coming up. You can react with Michael Bartlett, react with me, and we'll get your comments as well as we sift through this tough loss tonight for the San Antonio Spurs, 119-104. Coming up, we will update the NBA scoreboard, and we'll get a wrap-up from Bill Schoening in just a little bit as well. Once again, the final score from the AT&T Center, the Toronto Raptors beat the San Antonio Spurs, 119-104. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
Hi, my name is Takia, and a little thing that I love about the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich.
All right, Ofa Lynn from Singapore, Beth Settle from the 09, Christopher Silva says we need the lottery, Frank Valdez, Veronica Mars, maybe Pop will get his win. Hello, Veronica. Brian Birdie is a huge Spurs fan. Brian Birdie goes to just about every home game and many road games because he's got a great business that takes him around the country quite a bit, which is tremendous. Brian Birdie had a photo with Taro Kotani, who is in town through Friday night's game. Taro came from Tokyo, Japan, and he wants to see Pop set the record. He'll get one more chance on Friday night. Frank Valdez doesn't like the third quarter. Yeah, it got away from him, man. We were up in the third, and all of a sudden the roof fell in. Michael, I don't know. It always seems like right when we start to believe they're, making a move. They had a great win against the Lakers. They looked good tonight. Up at halftime, up 69-62 with 9:19 to play, and then the Raptors came back to tie it, and then Raptors led by the end of 3 and never really looked back. Mary Anthony is the Spurs good luck charm. All right, okay, Mary Anthony is going on Friday night, so I can now officially guarantee the Spurs will win that night. When Mary Anthony is at the Spurs games, they win 99.83% of the time. So get ready to celebrate, Spurs fans. Here we go. From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Final score from the AT&T Center, the Toronto Raptors defeat the San Antonio Spurs 119-104. Coming up, a react on 1200 WOAI, the flagship station, and on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter page. First, let's update the NBA scoreboard. 11 other games in the NBA, games in progress. Late first half, Jazz over the Blazers 54-27. Final minute of the first half in Sacramento, Nuggets over the Kings 61-48. Final minute of the first quarter, Wizards over the Clippers 29-28. Final scores from earlier, Celtics beat the Hornets 115-101. Bulls over the Pistons 114-108. The Suns beat the Heat 111-90. Bucks over the Hawks 124-115. In overtime, the Rockets beat the Lakers in Houston 139-130. Timberwolves over the Thunder big 130-102. Pelicans fell at home to the Orlando Magic 108-102. And the Knicks went into Dallas and beat the Mavericks tonight big 107-77. Spurs React is moments away after a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center, where the Spurs fall tonight to the Toronto Raptors 119-104. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
Hammond on being the first woman to coach in the NBA.
What if it's no big deal that I'm a woman? What if it's about striving for excellence and being the best me without the label?
It's not about
Michael Phillips not happy tonight. A lot of Spurs fans not happy. Understandable. Leland says hopefully Taro will be a good luck. So Taro Kotani and Mary Anthony will be at the game on Friday night. Joanne Hernandez says the Spurs never had a chance to win tonight. Too many missed opportunities like usual. Frank Valdez feel like they need to feed Jakob more, especially when he has mismatches. Jimmy Munoz, celebration reschedule. There's your Jimmy. That's the attitude. We're just going to reschedule the celebration for actually Friday night. The Spurs do play on Saturday night, but the next game is Friday night. So now, Michael, they got to win at home against the Lakers 2 nights ago. So, I wanted back-to-back wins. So, all right, Veronica will be there Friday. I got a good feeling about Friday night. Then again, I had a good feeling about tonight. So, what do I know?
Or head over to spurs.com/camps.
Bill Schoening.
Commercial traffic along with Leah Resendez. Broadcast engineer Sam Walters. Statistician Walter Stoops. Next game for the Spurs Friday night, 7:30. Utah Jazz in here. 7 o'clock Start time on Spurs Radio Game Night and the tip shortly after 7:30. As always, for all things Spurs, follow us on Twitter, Spurs.com, or the Spurs app. Our studio producer is Mike Bartlett. Our studio host is Chris Duel. This is Bill Schoening. Thanking you for joining us this evening. The final score from the AT&T Center, Toronto with the win over the Spurs, 119-104. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball Association. All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Spurs Radio Game Night Rewind has been brought to you by AT&T. The game we live for.
Tony Ornelas, what is up? Yeah, Tony, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Yeah, Tony, let's hope it's Friday night. There's games Friday and Saturday night. I got my trusty Spurs schedule with me. I don't leave home without it. So let's see. We got Utah on Friday, then the Indiana Pacers on Saturday. So they'll at least win it on Saturday. I want to win it on Friday, though, because Mary Anthony and Veronica and Taro are going to be in the audience. And Taro flies back to Tokyo on Saturday. Oh, okay. The Spurs are going to lose Friday because Mary's not going until Saturday. All right.
Somewhere in that range.
Say that one more time.
12 or 13.
Yeah. Let's shoot for it. And you're in, right?
He just finished, so I've got to get all these in.
So does that mean no?
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Okay. I'll check with you at one point. Here we go.
This is Game Night React on the home of the Spurs. Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI.
Well, I was ready to celebrate. I'm wearing my In Pop We Trust cap. I am wearing my Spurs Dia de los Muertos t-shirt, which is kind of cool. It's very puro San Antonio. And it looked for a while tonight like the Spurs were looking good to get this win against the Toronto Raptors. But things fell apart in the second half and certainly in that third quarter for the San Antonio Spurs. And they couldn't come back in the fourth. A tough loss for the Spurs tonight as they fall to the Toronto Raptors, 119-104. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. We are streaming live video, as we always do, on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages. I'll grab Michael Bartlett here in a moment if he's available. He does a lot of post-game production work with Bill Schoening and for Spurs Radio and 1200 WOAI. So we hope we can get Michael. We'll find that out in just a few moments. Spurs led in this game at halftime, 61-58. They led early in the third quarter, 69-62. And from that moment, it was with 9:19 remaining in the third quarter and the Spurs up 69-62, things started to shift. The Raptors went on a 7-0 run to tie it at 69-69. By the time we got to the third quarter, the Raptors had built a 7-point lead. At the end of three quarters, Raptors led it 91-84, and the Spurs were unable to get back in this thing in the fourth quarter. In fact, in that second half, the Spurs were outscored by 10 points in the third quarter, 33-23, and outscored by 8 points in the fourth quarter, 28-20. So after having that halftime lead by 3, the Spurs were outscored by 18. Ouch, in the second half. So many people were hoping tonight would be the night that the Spurs would win and therefore deliver. Head coach Greg Popovich, with his bit of history, the most regular season wins in Spurs history as of tonight, he will remain tied with his friend and one-time boss. Greg Popovich was an assistant coach to Don Nelson back in the day with the Golden State Warriors. So a friend, a mentor, and a boss, Don Nelson. So hopefully that record will fall and belong to Pop on Friday night when the Spurs take on the Utah Jazz. I see we've got a phone call, Michael, from Veronica. Let me grab Veronica's phone call here as the Spurs fall to the Toronto Raptors 119-104. Veronica, a huge Spurs fan. Veronica, you're on Spurs React on 1200 WOAI. Go ahead, Veronica.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Michael. I just wanted to say that, okay, Monday's night game it was like 50-50 Lakers fans, Spurs fans, right? Huge crowd, sellout crowd. But I noticed tonight it was almost sold out as well. So I think San Antonio fans are trying to get behind Pop and be there to see him win one more game and get ahead of Don Nelson. So that was good. I mean, it's nice to see people come out to support the Spurs, and they're going to get it Friday or Saturday. Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go, Veronica. And let's get this thing on Friday. I've been telling people on the live video feed here during the break, the greatest international Spurs fan, Taro Kotani, is in town from Tokyo for his 17th trip from Tokyo to see the Spurs in San Antonio. The last game, he leaves on Saturday night or on Saturday morning for Tokyo. So he can't come Saturday night against the Indiana Pacers. He wants to see Pop get the record. So the last game on this trip for Taro is going to be Friday night against the Utah Jazz. So I really want the Spurs to win that one on Friday night so Taro Kotani can see it. Now let me check in with Michael Bartlett. Michael, give me a yay or nay. He's good. All right. We love getting Michael Bartlett's perspective. Michael and I were feeling good when the Spurs were up at halftime and up early in the third quarter. And then, Michael, it seems like, the bottom fell out on the Spurs. And you've been talking to me off the air about the bench play for the Spurs tonight. You were none too happy about the Spurs bench this evening.
You're not going to win a lot of basketball games when your bench only scores around 24 to 25 points a night. It's just a kind of a lackluster performance from the bench. Lonnie looked good in the first half, had 11 in the first, but only managed to score a bucket in the second half, and it was basically towards right before Pop decided to wave the white flag. I thought assistant coach Becky Hammond nailed it right on the head. They just got outworked at times. Some of their guys just got beasted around and pushed around. And when DeJounte went out to get stitches on his head, that's kind of when the momentum shifted big time back to Toronto. You had it was basically a DeJounte Murray and a Keldon Johnson night. They combined, they get 52 points. Jakob gets 11, which around his average and things like that. But unfortunately, another bad night. From Dougie, a.k.a. Dougie McBuckets, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range, only 7 points. When our three-point shooter in the starting lineup, along with him and Keldon Johnson, he's got to get at least double figures. Devin Vassell, I don't know if he just looked rusty. 1 of 5 from three-point range, 3 of 9 from the field, 8 points. It was just it just seemed like they just didn't have it tonight. As you stated, in the first half, it was back and forth. We went into halftime with, I believe, a 3-point lead. And then that third quarter, you get outscored by 10. And then in that fourth quarter, you get outscored by 8. You only managed to score 43 points in the whole second half, and you give up 61. You're not going to win basketball games like that. You were not going to win basketball games like that. Free throw shooting was great tonight for once. 19 of 20, but unfortunately, Toronto got to the free throw line more, 26 of 28. So you're in the losing category there. I thought they got. I thought the Spurs got a little too 3-ball happy tonight. 9 of 32. You're not going to win basketball games again. Shooting 28% from 3. Granted, they go 11 of 30, but I did think we got a little too 3-ball happy in that first quarter. I want to say we were probably about 2 or 3 of like 17 in the first quarter. So. I don't mind 3-point shooting, but when it comes in a vast majority of volume and they're not going in, I repeatedly say this all the time. Just do a pump fake. Do a pump fake. Take a step inside to get maybe a closer shot and possibly get a 2 instead of an empty possession. The turnovers, 12, right around their average, but the points off turnovers just couldn't capitalize. So you're going to be playing a very tough opponent come Friday against Utah. And not that Toronto was not a tough opponent, but you're playing a team with, a Rudy Gobert, and they are going to be a very tough team to try to compete against. So hopefully we can knock out this record on Friday, because like Lonnie said in pregame, I mean, Pop more than likely doesn't care. It's more about the players and their perspective. So Pop just probably wants to get this over with. So you would think he would want to get it over with Friday. So hopefully Friday, if not Friday, Saturday against the Pacers for sure.
And if I can choose, I'll take Friday. Let's do this thing on Friday. Thank you. Thank you, Michael Bartlett. All right. So 2 games coming up this weekend, as Michael mentions, back-to-back. Friday night, Utah Jazz. Saturday night, Indiana Pacers. Let's get the record on Friday. Let's win both those games and just get back on a roll. And after that Lakers win started this 7-game homestand. We want to thank Bill Schoening for another masterful call in his 21st season as the radio voice of the San Antonio Spurs. Nobody does it better. Statistician Walter Stoops, on-site engineer Sam Walters. The man you just heard, Michael Bartlett, makes the entire broadcast go from beginning to end. For those gentlemen, I'm Chris Duel. We will see you on Friday night as the Spurs host the Utah Jazz at the AT&T Center. Our pregame Spurs radio game night with the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, Bill Schoening, starting at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Once again, the final score, the Toronto Raptors defeat the San Antonio Spurs 119-104. This has been Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. See you Friday night. Go Spurs, go. In Pop, we